In this video, we will discuss everything about adding animators in After Effects 2020 tricks. These animators will enable you to add a nicer animation to your texts. Let me type a text here, After Effects. Well, I change its position a little bit and bring it to the center. Well, as you can see, there are some buttons here in the Effects section and also the Animate section. First, let's see that if we have some animations added on each other, what would happen. For example, I open the Animate, go to Tracking, and at this point, I want my text to start, and at this point, I want it to finish. I put it at the start, this keyframe. Well, and also increase the tracking amount here. For example, this amount looks fine. And when I play it, you see that the tracking is added here. I set it on before. Now suppose I want to add a blur effect to it too. Here you can see that there is the range selector button here. I can come to add here. There are two buttons here, property and select here, which is the type of my selector, and in property you will see all of the animations. For example, I choose blur. If you've noticed, the blur is exactly beneath the animator 1, and also the keyframes which I've chosen here is start and end. These will all be added to my tracking and also the blur. For example, if I increase the blur, you see that my text will both be as tracking and also will be blurred at the same time. Well, for example, I want to add something else too. For example, a scale. For example, as the tracking and blur changes, I want the scale to change too. For example, I come here, scale, and change its size. Well, you can see that. Now it is playing like this. But the other button here is selector. For example, I can come on wiggly here, and when I click on it, you see a new button opens here as wiggly selector and wiggles my text here. I can also remove the range, so there will be wiggly animate. I can also remove it. There are also some other buttons. I can also set a start and end for it. For example, start at this point and end at this point. And when I play it, you can see that it is changed like this. Well, I remove this here. There's another button here as expression, and when you select it, you can also turn your file into expression. You just need to change the amount here, and select pick wipe so that it will come in as a expression. But if you've noticed, all of the buttons which I changed here were used by add. Well, I removed some of these and just leave the track in here. Well, I do not need it, my text to be animated from the start and end points which I've chosen. I come here to the animate, and this time select animate. You see that because I was on Animator, this button is not added. I can come here and select blur here. When I am on the text and change it, you see that it will open here for me as Animator 2. I can also set a range for it. For example, I come here, this would be my start, 0, and at this point, for example, 100. And bring this point a little bit forward and add blur. Okay, when I play it, you can see that it is started from this point and finishes at the other point. And that is because I've selected a different animator. I can also come here and add a keyframe for end, change its numbers, set it on 100, and come here and set it on 0. Well, you can see that my photo is animated like this. This time I set it on end and increase it as much as possible. You can use the blending modes to create nice visual effects for your texts. Click on the link above to watch our video on how blending modes work in Premiere Pro. And you can see that when it reaches this point, which is my start, it will come to 0, and then my changes will be added. Well, I can increase this. You can see that no changes are made here, and that is because I have created a new animator here, Animator 2. And I've added on Animator 1. Well, this is for when you want to examine different modes. For example, I delete Animator 2 here and go to After Effects and select Character Offset. I come on this button here. First, I set an amount for offset, and you see that the tracking is being added. For example, at this point I want it to be my start point, and this point my end point. Okay, when I play that, you see that it starts from this point and finishes at this point. I can also bring these two closer to each other, and you can see how it is playing. Well, this was how you can work with the animators. Thank you for watching this video. You can click on the link below to subscribe to our channel, where we have plenty of more videos for you.